APC picks campaign DG. PDP youths call for IU removal, while Wike insists on fair treatment by the party. In all of this, Peter Obi gets resounding ovation at Dunamis headquarters in Abuja. Welcome to Talk Politics on Smooth 98.1. My name is Victor Pepple.
Good morning, Lagos. Thank you for joining us. It's time to talk politics 101. Once again, my name is Omashaye Ashenua, and you forgot to add the sound gengen to the old packaging.
Well, there are various ways to be part of the show. Number one, you can call us 0144899981. Again, 0144899981 is the number to call to reach us live in the studio as we share some of these stories with you. You can also send us messages on WhatsApp. 0809 4440981 is the WhatsApp platform to send a message across to us. We're available on Twitter, Smooth981FM. Tweet us and we'll take your comments before the end of the show. We're streaming live at the moment on YouTube. Search Smooth981FM Lagos to catch the live visuals as the show progresses. Well, where do we begin?
Probably you want to begin with obituary. Go ahead. Well, you called my attention to that, in the run-up to...
Is he not your senior brother?
I know that. I know you were going to put me up on this, but I thought we agreed. We had a pact. You were not going to throw me under the bus like this. That's not fair, Victor.
Go ahead.
So what's your political game for doing this now? Just go ahead. Tell Lagos why you have to do this to me. But then, okay, Lagos, basically, now the issue is our senior colleague, who incidentally is a senior namesake of mine. So don't get that wrong now when you see that anywhere. And don't say
they're from the same village.
Oh, come on, Victor.
But before now, obituary used to, signpost the death of someone.
Yes.
Right? And then, obsequies, people come, condolences and all that. It could be posters trying to say, this person has died, or you make announcements on television or radio, as it were, traditionally. But I did not know that it's now a title, perhaps for fairly, to put it mildly, an article for one of the presidential candidates.
Okay, now, back in the days, there was a US president who usually what he would do, when it was during an interview, he said, every morning when I wake up, I get to look at the papers and I go straight to the obituary section to see if I am there. Well, if I know my name is not published there, then I know I'm alive. But bringing it back to this story, we should give credit to this writer here. Sam Omashaye is his name. He writes for The Nation.
Why should we credit Sam?
It's a politically charged, but yet it is an artistic piece. Don't lose sight. There is an hyphen after Obi. Don't forget that the obedient people, they started it all. They started it where they started
How
saying...
did they?
Look at it. This is it. Obedient, right? Good. So OBI, for sure. That's for the governor's name. Now, this writer just creatively did this, an hyphen to it.
Are you?
And then Chuari. So it is an artistic piece. This work in itself can generate what is called, it's a whole master's thesis on its own, just for the artistic form. It takes the garb of...
Now you want to force me
sarcastic
to... No, and you want to force me to get into this and break it down. I was just going to pass through this one. I think that article is very uncouth, number one.
All right.
I do understand that Sam Omashaye is a poet, a novelist, a journalist, and I need to put this out there. He's the chairman editorial board of the Nation newspaper, and you don't expect Sam to do what he did with that piece. I'm going somewhere. He was born on the 15th of June in 1961. Peter Obi was born on the 19th of July 1961. He's older by 1 month and 4 days. While Peter Obi aspires to lead Nigeria, Sam only is yet known to some by this article. Before now, just a moment, there were some who did not even know the name Sam Omashaye, and I stand to be corrected. In fact, a lot of those obedience followers and younger people only got to find out about him recently. Yes, he's been writing. We journalists, we know him. We know that, he's been writing for a while. All right, since the 1990s, if you like me to put it that way. I see that he, of some sort, constantly, secretly admires Peter Obi because this is not the first time he has written. Previously, he wrote what was called Obinomics.
And you also forgot.
And he did not even write. No, when he wrote Obinomics, he did not even write anything positive, as it were. He did not get enough traction. He decided to change the name. and called it obituary. Now, writing this obituary, of course, I think is
It's
a
a
little below
porn. It's a
the
porn
belt.
on the word
You know
obituary. Look
why I
at
think
it.
it's below the belt. If you read that article,
Yes.
he talked about Ndigbos and how they've shelved their struggle for Biafra, the Biafra agitation, and right now, this is a new face of Biafra, quote and unquote.
No, I'm happy you also read that. Now, in essence, what he's saying there is basically also even making a case for them, meaning they are moving away into mainstream politics. If you read the article properly, it tells you that now, beyond being sectional, they are getting into mainstream Nigerian politics.
It could get a better name. That's what we're
But
saying. As an editor
don't
of
lose sight of the
newspaper.
artistic and aesthetic. You see, it's a mixture of prose and poetry blend there. Just enjoy it first.
After all, Emiloko owns the Nation newspaper.
Oh, you have to rub that in now.
Let's go on. Quickly, let's even talk about the APC.
Okay.
Subject to ratification by President Buhari, Plateau State Governor and Chairman Northern Governors Forum Simon Lalong will coordinate the Presidential Campaign Council of the ruling APC as Director General. The deputy is the former governor of Edo State and ex-national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole. Perhaps Nigerians complained about a Muslim ticket.
Yeah.
So to run the campaign office, they've given a Christian pairing. How cool is that?
It's called what you call simultaneous equation. You know, when you do equations, what you do to the left-hand side, you try as much as possible to balance it on the left-hand side. So now, if you didn't get a Muslim ticket, in terms of the ticket, but the engine room that would drive it would definitely, have a sensitivity to what you guys are asking for, which is the religious sensitivity of Nigeria. So I think maybe you want to give them a pat on the back for that one.
The APC, pat on the back.
Yes. But
this is subject to President Buhari's ratification.
Of course, they've met him, and of course, during the week as it stands, Nasir El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, and the others, they met, and then the secretary of the party was also in that meeting. So they will be meeting with the president finally to put in his 2 cents into it, and then, of course, Baba is leaving. He has a lot in his table, in his plate already. That's if he would even criticize what they've done already.
Did you also see the conversation the former chairman of the APC had with journalists, where they kept asking if it's going to be continuity, and he was stylishly trying to run away from that conversation as it concerns the current administration, perhaps as to how he was taken out of office when he was APC NWC chairman. When they kept asking the question, he just was trying to evade it. He says, let's focus on what I'm here. I'm here in capacity to discuss campaign for Ashiwaju, not discussing President Buhari.
And in addition, that's when he said that it would be wrong for you to, ascribe the failure of this present administration to Ahmed Bola Tinubu now, because after all, he was never a minister in the cabinet.
Doesn't matter.
So why are you going to
He's
blame
a member
him for
of the APC, leader of the APC. They brought President Buhari to Nigerians and should take responsibility, whichever side it goes.
Now, this is what it is. Don't forget, Adams Oshomole, like they say in the common parlance, his mouth will never go to the washerman place when you need him to speak up. He would to speak. That's double speak now. That's to recreate the words of George Orwell now. He can double speak. So now he's trying to tell you, look, this is not our fault. The man was never a cabinet member. He left. It is one thing when you bring a god to dine, you would have to withdraw from the stage and let that god, dine to its fill. You cannot affect it.
Is it also a thing with our national chairman in Nigeria, I mean the political parties now, to double speak? Taking your words, really, because it looks like your chair Ayu of the PDP is double speaking, and he has been hit for that.
It's a hallmark of for politicians, Maisie. It's part of your resume. If you must be a politician, you must have the ability to speak. Yes, on both sides of your mouth.
The PDP crisis festers as pro-Wike BOT members boycott board and NWC meeting yesterday.
Well, the end of this fight, or probably the brewing tsunami in the PDP, we are yet to see where it is leading. See, how to appease this god called Wike, they don't even know.
God?
He is gradually attaining that status now of a thing god. Let's just put it that way now, that he's gradually attaining that status now, that if it is not me, then nobody.
He's just a skilled politician. And this, I think, is a huge distraction to the PDP, like it or not. There are a lot of internal issues in the PDP. So sorry to cut in quickly. Youth protested asking Ayu to resign. That's the national chairman of the PDP, calling for his resignation yesterday. The national chairman and the BOT chairman, the presidential candidate, are all from the north. These were some of the things that they put out there. Ayu is from the north central. The presidential candidate is from the northeast, and the BOT chairman from the northwest. And they are saying, what is going on? What is happening to us on the other side of the south? This has continued for long. But Ayu is arguing that it will be a harmful strategy to remove him as chairman 6 months to the elections. It's not done anywhere. Let us finish the elections. I will resign. But we don't see people resign respectfully in Nigeria. Will Ayu really resign after the elections?
Oh, they just found out now. Now, because politics is not static, it is dynamic. Now, the ticket is gone to the northeast now, the presidential ticket, and then by that equation now, it feels like we are being left out. So there must be a realignment now to carry people along. So that fear in itself, the party must recognize that, else under that will be the smoke that would eventually be the fire that some other persons will stoke to achieve their own selfish aim.
But the PDP has always had a gentleman agreement unwritten. When the chairman is from the north, the presidency is zoned to the south. When the presidency is from the south, the chairmanship is zoned to the north. Now, the same Wike you mentioned wanted the former chairman removed. Secondos. It was the same Secondos. Wike was the same person who rallied around to bring Secondos in as national chairman. Now, because he had presidential ambitions, and knowing that both of them coming from the south, from the same state in the south, might not work, then quickly Secondos was removed to pave the way for him. Apparently, he was also very instrumental to the bringing of Iyorchia Ayu as national chairman of the PDP. Because he was looking at that south-north, equation. Apparently, it didn't work out this time. It is the first time in the PDP's history to have a national chairman from the north, BOT chairman from the north, and a presidential candidate from the north. In fact, the BOT chairman and the national chairman of the PDP were in a shouting match yesterday during their NWC meeting. How did I know? I have my sources. In fact, they said the shouting went on for very long. They were saying he doesn't attend BOT meetings. And he said, it's not important for me to be there in all your meetings. And then the shouting began. Anyways, we'll stop here for now. Take a break, or we'll come back. We'll give you a topic for discussion.
You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Keep listening.
What are you doing? Where you see calendar?
My savings countdown. Don't save life in a little bit. My ultra slim retina display laptop from Oxford will be here in about 3 hours.
On Ultimate, you can own now and pay later with flexible payment options of up to 24 months. The best part is there is zero interest on all programs. So shop your home appliances, electronics, furniture, gadgets, and more now on www.allsmall.ng. All small. Shop more. Pay easy.
Babe, could you renew my Airtel data subscription?
Of course, darling. Anything for you. All you see is me sobbing for pay. But what I see is my wedding day.
The important things in life are powered by data. Dial *141# to choose any data plan that works for you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Nigeria was being described as the showcase of democracy.
So let's establish a simple truth.
My society is underdeveloping because of an alien system on our people.
Talk politics on Smooth 98.1.
You're still listening to Talk Politics on Smooth 98.1 FM. And if you want to be part of the conversation, please feel free to get to us on our WhatsApp. And that will be on 0809-444-0981. You can also give us a call later on at on 01-448-9981. Victor.
All right. Just within the week, we got a report, from INEC. The closed registration 31st of July, which was last week Sunday. In fact, last week we had the INEC rec for Lagos on the show. And after, putting together the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, INEC put out this report that 12,298,944 Nigerians voted. I mean, not voted, were captured. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't even wait for the next election. However, 12.2.
The last time I checked, you didn't buy nomination form. So why are you getting ahead of yourself? I don't know, but
I just want to cover the elections. Really, I want to see what happens in this coming election. But 12.2 million Nigerians have been captured as new, registrants for this coming election. And there's a breakdown by age group, by occupational, gender. There's also by gender itself. There's a breakdown in terms of state of registration, region, persons living with disability, and all of these statistics. Perhaps you want to give us that of the age grade.
Man, the age grade, again, the youths are still leading with what we see here, 18 to 34 years. They put out 8.8 million people youths were captured in that bracket. And the middle age, between 35 to 49, we've got about 2.4 million persons captured there. While the elderly, between the range of 50 to 69, they captured about 959,017 individuals were captured in that category. While senior citizens, that's if you are at the age of 70 and above, that's about 127,541 were captured. So that's what it looks like. But in terms of gender, male that were captured were 6,074,078 was for male. For female, it's 6,224,866 were captured. So there we have it.
All right. I want to first salute the senior citizens, people 70 and above, who came out to, register to vote next year. 127,541 of them, 70 and above. And perhaps Tinubu falls in this category. Charlie Boy, 72, is in this category. I'm not saying that they just voted, by the way, but I mean, I'm talking about people 70 and above. Atiku is also in that category. And all of these people, 70 and above, came out to register to vote in 2023. I salute all of them, really. But if we had to look at it again, about 7 million failed to complete online registration, and INEC said there's nothing they can do about it. So it looks like those 7 million have been disenfranchised automatically.
Come back next year.
No, not even next year. Close to the next elections
that's
is when.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Come back next time.
And Serap is saying we're going to challenge this in courts.
Serap again. Serap, for me, Serap, the battles Serap take up on behalf of Nigerians is something that I don't know where they find the energy from and the resources. I just, when I see it, just recently they were asking the president, tackling him on terms of what's it called, the threat to national security and all of those things. And I say, this president, you will hear from Serap, and here we go again. They're on this INEC case, making a case for people who could not finish online registration. But let's hope that we get, at some point, this registration has to stop, because you can't do registration up into the election month or into campaigns. It doesn't make sense, because there are a lot of processes that will go underneath for you to clean up the register so that you don't have Bill Clinton, Nelson Mandela, and other Mugabe of this world, who knows, just coming up in the. So that's one thing the INEC wants to avoid. So you have to give them a space of time to clean up and then publish the register now for people to see, and then check, and then they will go back again, and then before the final register, the list of people who can vote next year in the election will come up.
In fact, I have to throw this in. Litigations are already springing up. Delta State is one to mention. Boriwori and Edevie. I'm saying this because in 2019, INEC put out that they had 1,689 litigations across the country. People that took them to court, 1,689. As at 2019, the numbers, I don't know if it will increase this year. We've not even gotten to the elections. The cases are already ongoing. Serap is taking INEC to court. Edewe and Oboriwori are already saying, oh, INEC, you must do the needful right before the elections in 2023. But that's not the bone of contention here. We're bringing you into the conversation now. We want you to talk to us. 12 million new voters have shown readiness. But as a country, looking at the security situation, are we ready for the 2023 general elections?
That's a mega question right now, because I was supposed to ask you if you've gotten your own Land Cruiser, because since it's the fashion now to hand out SUVs for security and all of those stuff now, even to neighbors now, the press too could as well make use of SUVs at this time as we head into the next election too, so that we can be secure too. But bringing it back to what you said in terms of readiness, in terms of security, security is the eggshell on which everything in society stands on. It's very fragile. Without security, everything else we do doesn't make sense. So when you are saying you're going into an election here, and it just seemed like these people who are doing these things, who are the enemies of state, are seeming like, oh, you guys want to hold election. Let's see if there is no peace, if you would be able to hold election. Just flash back to 2015 and see what happened and what the administration then had to do to get this government in. So at this point in time, look, with the cases rising every day, I was listening to you on the news yesterday, and you talked about the figures that have been released, about how many persons have been killed in the first 6 months of this year. Those are staggering figures. Not even in Syria do you get, in 6 months, would you get that figure. So it tells you once again, look, you may be making the right preparations in terms of registration. It doesn't look, the security signal we are getting doesn't look right for election, because elections cannot thrive in an atmosphere of fear. The first condition for democracy or for a credible election must be security.
Are we at war? I can't exactly answer that because I recall that earlier in the day during Freshly Pressed, Mr. C had said, oh, it looks like we're at war. And I argue differently. But, I mean, you just put very correctly a figure by Beacon Consulting, over 7,000 killed between January and July in this country. We do not pray that the numbers increase. But we're having our elections next year.
In less than 24 hours, an AIG was attacked. The daringness of what is happening right now, that's what even takes, it makes the space of freedom is shrinking every day.
And constitutionally, I must also put this out there. If we do not hold our elections 25th of February next year, the president is mandated by law to extend in office for another 6 months.
But of course, he has told you, look, he wants to get back to farming down.
But it doesn't also look like, I mean, we must have a peaceful atmosphere for elections to thrive, to be conducted.
That is why the lawmakers, before they left, they had now given him a shake-up to say, wake up, don't sleep. That's it. Just take one agenda right now. Forget every other thing you see. Look, it's done. Look, the timing is done already.
All right.
Just focus on security alone and deliver, and just make sure there's a new government, and then you can go.
The calls are coming in already. 014489981 is the number to call to reach us live in the studio, to be a part of the conversation that we're having right here and right now. You can quickly leave a message to us on WhatsApp, 0809444091.
Now, security is such a very serious thing. See, look, we play too much. What we're experiencing today, from things I have been able to gather, we played too much with religion, ethnicity, forgetting the identity called Nigeria. It comes first. Let me give you an example. That's about, it was on Wednesday, the US president came out and addressed, the Americans and said, look, we've been able to take out one of the most wanted terrorists, on the FBI list. It's been taken down, the Egyptian. None of that information leaked out. There is a paucity in our borders, as well as a leakage in intelligence. Whatever you want to do inside the intelligence structure, before it's carried out, it's gone already. Even these bad people already, they know about it. So it's becoming more like every day something very helpless, that we need to stand up and say, look, we are first Nigerians, not Christians, not Muslims. Let's face this thing and let's relegate religion to the background.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we're getting straight to your calls.
Music, love life.
Hey, it just feels good.
Nigeria, God will help us.
Is it?
Say Nigeria, God will help us.
In trouble.
90.1.
2023. If she isn't picking up, calm down. You've not been served breakfast. The biggest reality show in Africa is back, and she's gearing up because it's the Pepsi confirmed season. But last, Pepsi confirmed. Pepsi, for the love of it.
What is it? Every time you guys will be telling me, hey Charles, you like free things. Charles, you like free things. Free me. But I find you where they are giving free drinks. If there's free food, you'll be there. If they are sharing free funds, comrade, you'll be queue. Forget, look, we all love good things. Even now that Jumia is doing free delivery, it's the same you and I that are enjoying it. Is it only me?
On every order above 1,999 naira, you'll enjoy free delivery in Lagos and Ibadan. So, shop on Jumia today. Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Nigeria was being described as the showcase of democracy.
So let's establish a simple truth.
Now, my society is underdeveloping because of an alien system on our people.
Talk politics on Smooth 98.1.
We're back here, still talk politics on Smooth 98.1 FM. And so we're looking at the security implication right now as we head into the election, because by September, guess what? It's upon us already. Whenever a date is set, all it takes is just one day after the other. We will get there slowly but surely. Are we ready? Is the question now. INEC has done its part, getting to clean up the register, but the necessary security for us to get into it, because every day, only yesterday now, guess what happened? The train services between Ajaokuta, Kogi to Lagos, been shut down. Gradually, it seemed like everybody stay where you are. That's where we're heading to.
Let's take our calls, and then we'll talk more from the studio here. Talk to us. All right, 014489981 is the number to call to reach us live in the studio. Keep trying the number. We'd like to get your take on this matter. With the persistent kidnappings and the other stories that we hear, bandit attacks, are we ready for 2023 elections? 014489981. Let us hear from you. Some might say that, oh, the police, usually we have the police on the ground. Of course, the police saddled with responsibility for internal security. And so we might see the police or hear from the police soon enough with regards to elections. Good morning. Thank you so much for calling. What's your name? All right, Ben. Thank you for calling, Ben. You too can be part of the show. Let us know. 014489981. That's for calls. If you'd like to quickly send a message across to us, it's 0809 4440981. That's for messages. Let us share your thoughts, right? Let us know what you think about the topic of the discussion. Apparently, not just this one. Feel free to react to any of the other stories we've shared with you earlier with regards the article,
i.e. obituary.
Feel free to react to any of it. The crisis in the PDP, Tinubu's new DG, a Christian, the deputy, a Christian. Oshomole is the deputy. Simon Lalong, governor of the Plateau State and chairman Nigeria Governors, Northern Governors Forum also the DG of the Campaign Council. Hello. Good morning. All right, Mr. Awele, talk to us. Talk to us.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. Please, your name and where you're calling from. Welcome to Talk Politics. Go ahead, Adediran, you're welcome. All right. Okay.
All right, Adi.
Okay, you have your C already. Thank you so much. Let's see if we've got another caller. Yeah, you can be part of the conversation on 014489981, and you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0809444091. Let's see what else now. So now, before this time, just before we get a call in, the question in terms of security once again for election. There was a talk about, oh, as soon as we get these Tucanos in, man, these guys will hear from us.
We'll come back to Tucanos after this call.
Hello, good morning. Now, please do well to call us back. We'll be anticipating the call to come in. So before then, now, there was the talk of, as soon as the Tucano come in, now, there are 6 in the country. What's the impact? What other areas can we do this thing right in terms of getting people now involved? The other day, there was a time where a member of the cabinet once said that people should stand up and fight these people. And don't forget, just recently I saw a video of a former militant who was staging a show of force at an event somewhere in the South. That's Asari Dokubo now, where he came out with rocket launchers. This was a recent one. And you're asking yourself, so if one person has this, and this is just a private individual now, what is the explanation for government not to be able to equip the military to go all out and do, good things to bad people out there and send them to where they ought to be.
So as I even speak with you, ongoing in Benue State, the Benue State government is inaugurating a community volunteer guard. This is community, security. They're not even waiting again, state police and all that. Everybody is looking to do what needs to be done to protect her citizens. But again, as we approach 2023, should the other state governors adopt this strategy to, internally raise young people who are interested in securing the states? It might now look like the governors are gathering these people to secure more votes for their parties, because people have constantly argued against state policing, that if the governors are put in charge of the security structure in their state, they might misuse the powers that accrued them. Do you get what I mean? Right now, we know everything is controlled from the center. Police, military, you need order from Abuja before anything is carried out. Wike always complains that, yes, I'm the chief logistics officer. I'm not in charge of the security in my state. It's similar to some other governors. They always say the same things. Then, as we approach the 2023 elections, should we toe the path of Benue State, creating, community structures where volunteers come up and say, I want to defend my people, and then you begin to arm them and give them the necessary equipments and whatever it is that will take them to secure their communities.
It is not to raise and show for cameras for us to see all of these things they are doing. After the cameras, the Benue you talk about as being, a playground where these people come in and just, it's not about that. It's about giving bite and then having the legal, backup now. The federal government has too much, on its plate. It is time to devolve power. And some of these things on the exclusive list has to go down to the state and even to the local government. It is because local governments have failed. That's why most of the problems you see as security. What are we talking about? Where we are today is a local government. Forget that it's in Lagos State. So if you want to begin to secure people, it must start from the local government. Then we'll get it right.
All right, quickly again, I want to put out a breakdown before we take a break. Northwest have about 2.5 million registered voters, new voters. South, okay, so I'll do this and then mention. Northwest has about 2.5 million new registered voters. Peter Obi's vice presidential candidate comes from that region, the Northwest. South has 2.4 million registered voters, new registered voters. Atiku's vice comes from that region. The North Central, 2.3 million, about 2.3 million. That's where people might begin to try to, take a grab from. It has Kogi there, Kwara, the FCT Abuja, in the North Central, Benue as well. But let's keep it going. In the Southwest, Emiloko, the Southwest has about 2 million new registered voters. Northeast, where Atiku comes from, has 1.5 million voters newly registered. Southeast has 1.4 million. And then a lot of questions might now come up for the Labour Party. But again, before we even get into all of that, the questions, 1.4 million from the Southeast, I want to put it out there that Igbos make up the other regions. Just on a lighter note, because anywhere you go to and you don't find an Igbo man there, I wonder what you're doing. You must always find them somewhere, every state in Nigeria. But let's keep that aside and take this break. When we come back, we'll be looking to wrap up the conversation for today. Before people tell me, what do you mean? What do you mean? But they have the list, 1.4 million.
Southeast.
Yes, Southeast.
Yeah, of course, because of the security situation,
but
most of these things,
and it's just 5 states. No, we're almost done. When we'll come back, we'll be wrapping up. This one is for you, but I refuse to take it.
What? Take it. Why? We're having a conversation. It's a conversation. Yeah, but his name is not there. It's not like it wasn't personal. It's an artwork. That's how I see it.
Okay, so we'll come back with
it. It has a flavor. That's when you now go into It's not cruise. It is what it is. It is art.
No, he's a good writer.
It's a good, yes. It's a good writer of prose. That's it. It's nothing personal. It is then when you get into the meat of what he says.
He knows how.
That's yes. That's how me I read it. Like,
and
it's not direct C. That's why I played the C.
I get his message in that, but there are better ways to put it with a different. I like.
See,
he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
He knew that if he used this title that he used,
when the OB start saying obedient is not a word that was.
But obedience is better than sacrifice. No?
I don't know, overnight you have been nice then. You see, that's why you have to go and do this kind of very stupid, this writer that is staring everywhere like. Those are the controversy it generates. So take his message, and I don't have any problem with it.
Okay. And we're about to wrap up the conversation for today. Quickly, you can share your thoughts with us on WhatsApp 0809 440 or 014489 That's for calls. On WhatsApp, we have this one. It says, they call that mischievous publication by a funny character a piece of art. That's an insult on art. Referring to someone as a obituary is fun to you. It's cruise. Waiting to hear him say the act of banditry is a piece of art, the way scenes of destruction looks afterwards. People need to know when not to joke with issues that can be sensitive if they are sensible. Perhaps maybe to the writer.
Well, that's apparently to the writer, but also you need to, there's a piece I want to refer you to. Back in the 18th century, back then, someone wrote, Jonathan Swift, he wrote a piece called The Modest Proposal. In that proposal, back in the days, things were very tough in England. And so he now said, you know what the poor should do now? It is time to begin to can the babies of the poor into cans so that they can use it to feed the rich. That piece in itself created, when it got to the monarchy, it generated a change that people did not believe that a piece that was written, and then itself, he has now become what you called a case study of how to write satires. So sometimes sometimes a writer might be trying to get a message across. So it's about it.
No, I give it to Samuel Masheye. He knows how to coin his words. Like I introduced him, he's a poet. Yeah. And he writes prose and all that, with satire, like you said, sarcasm in there, all of those things in his write-up. But if you read through, it felt like he was talking to an ethnic stock, a particular region of this country that feels marginalized, like it or not. Before we saw the people who call themselves obedient and going after Peter Obi, it was for a number of reasons, and I don't sit here to talk about it, so it doesn't come off as a campaign.
Yeah.
Right. But coming up with that particular piece, of course, will generate a lot of reactions. They even went as far as printing his own obituary photos, and he even came out to say, Peter Obi, call your supporters to order. Death threats all around. And I asked what he was thinking when he did capture that article with that obituary. We'll take our final call for the show today. Hello? Morning.
Good morning.
We're not campaigning, so thank you very much. Thank you. We need to let you go. It's not the campaigns yet. In about a month.
Okay. So
if they pay,
the writer,
we can begin to.
So the journalist and the writer, you see, there's always this problem of what is the task of a journalist or a writer. Your job is to inform society, but when it crosses the line, then you can now see it's becoming political.
Thank you for even putting that out there. Sam Omashaye should know where to, draw the line. Like I said, he's a poet, beautiful one at that. He's a novelist.
Great pieces.
So he has written poems. He's also written novels and also a journalist. Do you get what I mean?
So there's an overlap.
In fact, worst of it all is that he's the chairman editorial board of the Nation newspaper, owned by a candidate in this presidential race. And you don't expect people to react. But let's leave it there and we wrap up with this message.
Yeah, well, those who sow the wind will reap whirlwind. And he says there has been complicity of the security agencies and top government officials in the security crisis. There are reports of alleged police and army officers benefiting from ransom money, and you can't rule out that their leadership are implicated, but now you can see that with what happened with the Presidential Guard and the AIG backlash is hitting the same people. 2023 would disappoint those plotting this evil. Philip from Lagos.
Thank you very much, and that wraps things up here for us on the show today. Talk Politics will come back next week, Thursday at 11 o'clock. My name is Victor Pepple.
And just before we go, we must say thank you to those who took our time to send us some messages, starting from Philip. And of course, we want to say thank you to Awele from Aja, Aditirom, and others who tried to call.
And Ben as well.
And Ben as well. So thank you so much. My name is Omashaye Ashenua. Thank you so much.
To make up for what is now known as the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Omashaye Ashenua.
Sorry, brother, I was going to say that. Blah, 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 blah.